Good afternoon, this is your girl Dana Ketch, and I'd like to introduce you to a new segment called Chat with DEE. I'm with my friend Susan WAIRIMU. She's a new guest on the show. So we're going to talk about her beautiful journey and everything you need to know about her story. We're going to watch it here today. Susan, please tell us more about yourself. Who is Susan?
Okay, my name is Susan WAIRIMU. I'm turning 39 October this year. I'm single. I'm HIV positive. Been positive for the last 20 months. Yeah, it's all about accepting yourself because HIV is not something to be embarrassed about. You should be ashamed that you've turned positive so you can't live a normal life. So I believe I am Susan, and I'm a better Susan because of self-acceptance.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Okay, I'd like to ask you. You're saying you're 20 months. So how did you get to know about your status?
Okay, so I was working in South Sudan as a hotelier. I had a short contract. That's around 2018. I'd left for Sudan, that is Juba, around June. So June, July, and then August, my mom was a bit unwell, and then I lost my job because apparently there were problems with my former boss and the Sudanese government. He's also a local. So I think the stress of losing a job, and then instantly and then your mom is unwell. So I think it hit me so bad. So from like around 105 kgs, within a month, I lost up to 62 kgs. So I started feeling unwell. And then there's that thing of you want to go and drown your sorrow in alcohol. So I would drink much when I came back. So I started being sickly on and off throughout. So around January, that is 14th, 2019, I just told myself, I don't think like this persistent headache, serious backaches, stomach problems, it's a normal thing. So I told myself, rather than not knowing what is happening, it's good if I go to the hospital. So I psyched myself. Funny enough, when I reached the hospital door, I went back home. It's not easy.
Yeah.
So I went back home. Then on 15th, I became very unwell. I was alone. So on 16th, now I really psyched myself. I called my two sisters, my follower. I told them, can we meet at a specific private hospital? Because I don't want people to know what's going on. They were like, what's going on? I was like, I really need to go and test myself. If it's not cancer, if it's HIV, the better. So we went there. I didn't even go to see a doctor. I didn't get any consultation. So I just went to the lab. I told that guy, do you do HIV test? He just looked at me like, okay. He was like, yes. I told him I want to do HIV test. So he was like, can we first cancel you? I told him the fact that I walked from home to here, I had made my decision. For me, counseling is more important after this. What's the way forward? So he agreed. So the first they tell you if it's negative, this is how it reflects. If it's positive, this is how it reflects. So we drew the blood, we put it on the kit, then he put it aside first, we kept on just talking. So I was feeling butterflies, I have this feeling of what if not? So the fear was, if it's not HIV, definitely it's cancer, because even the hair had started falling off. So that was my worry. So after 10 minutes, he told me, let's look at the results. Oops, they were double lines. I was with my small sister, and the other sister was outside at the lounge. So she cried. Funny enough, I know it sounds weird, but I just felt like my stomach was cool. At least I know what it is. So that's how I got to know about my status, and I was taken to the doctor. I was cancelled, and I accepted to take the medications from that day. So I took my medication from the day I tested. Yeah.
Wow. So, okay, you've just been given your results, you've just been told, and now you're thinking, what next? So what happened immediately you left the hospital? Now you're out of hospital into reality. What happened?
So I'm from the hospital, and my sisters are my sister, one of my follower was like, I can't let you go home alone because I don't know what you'll do. Most people, when they test positive, they become suicidal. And others, they're in denial. So she told me, there's no way you're going to your place and you're alone. Let's go together to my place. We went with my sister. So that when I reached there, I couldn't eat. It was just too overwhelming. You know, the many thoughts of what happens. Am I going to die? Am I going to survive? How am I supposed to face the world? So I slept. I remember at night I woke up at around 12. I told God, now that I'm in this situation and we can't reverse it, give me the strength to soldier on. Give me that strength to overcome whatever is ahead, because my wish is not to die, but my wish is to live, because I believe everything happens for a reason. And that's the only day that I really cried, you know, and everything. So when I woke up the next day, I was very okay and calm. I just had my breakfast. I called my sister and told her, now, you know me, I'm not going to stay with you. Because the moment I stay with you, the day I go back, I'll relapse, because I'll be dependent so much on you guys, on your support system. Then what happens when I'm alone? So I told her I need to walk this journey alone. However much you people want to support me, I want to go back to my place. I want to walk this with myself, because it will be easy. So she agreed reluctantly, and she talked to her husband, and they were like, okay, it's okay, you can go. So I went back to my house. Given the fact that when I tested, I was almost going to full-blown AIDS, because my CD4 was at 249. So when you reach at the level 200, clearly it's full-blown. So I was almost there. So my appetite had gone. I couldn't eat. You know, you can't stomach anything. When you eat, it goes out. When you eat, it goes out. And you're really losing weight. You know, whereby when you put on something, somebody can tell there's a vacuum. That's how it was. So I started on fruits, because I realized fruits are good appetizers, and porridge alone. So I would buy a lot of fruits. I locked myself for almost a month in the house, but I would get supplies from my sisters, and I have few good, strong friends of mine who are there for me. So I would get my supplies. I would just mix the fruits, eat. Even if I vomit or it's a running stomach, I would still again force myself, and a lot of water and porridge. So for those 3 weeks to 1 month, that's what helped me. And then there's that period of, you hear hallucinations when you start your ARVs. There are times you really get hallucinations at night. It wasn't easy. You're alone. You know, you wake up with these weird things. Then you pray. You go back and sleep. At times the medication is reacting. You know, the HIV load is very high at that moment. So it's the medication fighting the virus. So you know, your body now is there in the middle. So it was at times I would really get sick. I would get like infections, but I just soldier on. I will continue to take my medicine. I just kept alone with a few friends and family until after 1 month. Then that's when now I started picking. There were no more stomach aches, no diarrhea, no nothing. So yeah, that's it.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Wow, this is a very nice story. You're a very charming lady. How was it when you talked to now, like maybe you said you mentioned about a very close friend called Adrian, who has been your support system.
Yes.
How was it when you first opened up to her? Like,
so the reason I chose her, the first person to open up to, is because we've been friends for so long. For I think before 2010, 2007 to 2008. So she's worked with me through some things. We've been tight. We might not meet daily, but we share a really strong bond. So we text, we chat. So I didn't tell her what it was. At that point, I'd started getting some stuff from Kampala and selling. So I told her, I have some dresses I want to bring for you as I tell you something. So I went there. She was fitting in her office. She's fitting her dresses. Then I told her, you know what, I'm HIV positive. And she's like, I'm like, yes, I'm HIV positive. Shockingly, instead of me crying, she cried. And it really touched me. You know, like somebody cares this much that it's really pained them. And I consoled her and I told her, no, don't worry. The fact that I'm strong enough to come and tell you it's like this, it tells you I'll soldier on. And I told her, as long as I have friends like you who are my support system, then I'll be good to go. So She stopped crying, and since then we've walked the journey. She was the person who would be like calling me and like, ukona fruits, can I send you something for fruits? Have you eaten? Are you okay? How are you feeling? How is the going? During the cold season, I remember at first, because my immune was a bit low, I had chest issues a lot. So she would call and ask me, are you warm enough? Are you taking care of yourself and stuff? And she's walked with me through this journey, and some other 2 friends. But she's been my number one. Her love, she's just this lovable person, you know, and she's selfless, and she didn't judge me. She actually, I think she loves me more than before, because I would expected maybe she would be like, hey, you know, most people would be like, hey,
the stigma.
No, you'd not even know. She doesn't even tell people. She doesn't bother. She's always happy for me. If she sees anything positive, even on social media, she'll be like, go on, soldier on, girl, you're my girl. This is the way to go.
We really value such friends, which are very rare to get.
That's
and we
true.
really appreciate. We really appreciate Adrian. And I don't know, I'm sorry to ask you, but about I'm sure you were in a relationship so that you got into this situation.
Yes.
Did you share the story with your, then partner? How did he take it?
I shared, and I had to tell the partner. We had to go and test, and he turned negative. But it never worked, not because of HIV issues, but because of later he said he turned positive, but as per what we tested, that's what he turned out. So later we couldn't, I think there were a lot of issues and other issues, so we couldn't really get along. But I said, at the end of the day, it doesn't have to work. But I was honest from the word go. After I tested on a Wednesday, on a Friday, I told him we meet on Saturday. I told him we go and test, and he agreed. And I believe I had to be honest. I owed him the truth. And at first he was supportive, but I don't know what happened along the line. But again, you can't force anything. I wished him well. I still wish him well. And I'm moving on with my life. You don't carry bad, ill motives with someone or anything. You just let them go.
And Susan, I'd like to ask you, what gave you the strength? Because normally HIV is something that people don't like to talk about. People like to just keep it under a shell. What may give you the courage and the power to want to share your story out there?
So the reason is why I decided to start sharing is because first, I didn't want to carry a guilt. It's very unfair when people walk on the streets, they have relationships. I'm not judging, but it's not right knowing that you have a kind of a status that you can't tell someone the truth. Because you'll be like, I'm dating this person, I can't agree to go and test, I'll need to use a condom, but what if it bursts?
Exactly.
You're living with that guilt. What if my partner knows? And it's also criminal. It's not even right. So I decided because of that, I didn't want to carry a guilt. And then the second thing, I was like, before HIV, I was this wild, proud person. But when I turned positive, I started seeing life from a different perspective. Like, it humbled me, sorry to say. So I realized, if I can do something different that I didn't do before, what can I do to change other people's life? There are people outside there who are scared to talk about their status. The stigma is real. There are people who would even not apply for certain jobs because they know they won't get the jobs. So I said, now let me just be bold enough, come out and show people you can slay, you can be beautiful, you can love people and live an undetectable life. Yes.
Oh my God, this is just awesome. What would you like to advise a woman or a man or a gentleman, anyone having this kind of situation right now? How would you advise them to go about it?
First and foremost, not even about people in the situation, I'll need to advise people kindly test. And just know there's an incubation period of 3 to 6 months. So even if you test positive today, kindly just use protection until the next testing, so that you're sure of that you're HIV negative. If you turn positive, it's not the end of the world. If you can look at me from CD4 of 249. I'd lost my boobs, my butts, everything. The hair was gone, and this is me restored. I would tell people, accept first, self-acceptance. If you do not accept your status, HIV sometimes is mental. If you don't accept, there's no way you'll be restored. So first you need to accept your status. Secondly, you need to be, if you have a partner, kindly be open about your status. Let them know. You are protecting the other person, so it's good to let them know. Thirdly, do not fear the outside world. Nobody defines you. You define yourself. If I slept there and cried over everything, I'm sure I would be dead by now. But I said no. It's never over until God says it's over. I woke up. It's like a small child when they were learning to walk, baby steps. They fall down, but they wake up and walk. That is how life is. So if you turn positive, kindly love yourself, eat well, do not miss your medication, because it's the key part in here. You have to make sure you take your medication every day, you eat well, accept yourself, love yourself, because nobody will ever give you love like the way you'd love yourself. And move on as if it's normal. It's actually a condition. It's just like diabetes. It's just like a blood pressure. We all take medication for life, right? But it's all about how you decide to accept your condition. So it's all about loving yourself, self-acceptance, and adhering to your medication.
Oh, that's really good. And one last thing. I can see a very beautiful single lady. So what are your plans for the future?
My plans would be, for now, I would just say, like, I'm looking, not I'm searching, but if he comes in God's time, somebody, I would prefer somebody like me, because it's easy to walk the talk, because he understands that we need to take our medication, we need to eat. Let me expound something. There's a misconception about HIV. People don't know that at a certain point, you reach a viral load of 0, undetectable level. So I reached mine at 6 months. So that means the drug has suppressed the virus completely. So even the rate of infection is close to nil. But again, with a negative person, they're human beings. There'll be that fear of the unknown. What if she infects me? What if he infects me? So it's quite cumbersome. You need somebody who really understands what HIV entails. But with somebody who's HIV positive, you understand each other, and there are no hassles and hurdles. You take your medication together, eat together, and everything. So I'm looking for that person, preferably somebody who's 42 plus. Yes, somebody who loves a bubbly lady. Okay. And I believe in relationships again. I don't want a relationship of convenience, because I don't want to date somebody because they're HIV like me, but it's out of love.
Oh wow, I can see something special coming up very soon, because you're such a beautiful lady. Thank I know you. After in the next few months we'll be talking a different story.
God willing.
God willing.
Yes. So as we continue, I would want to encourage people outside there. And it's not even about women. I've realized the girl child has been empowered so much that the boy child has been forgotten. So men are hiding in fear. They don't want to talk about their status. They're scared to date because they don't know what people outside there will view them as. After I started coming out, people came to my inbox on Facebook, and there would be men telling me, so you've really encouraged me. I just tested positive a few months ago. I lost my job, I lost my spouse, or I lost my girlfriend, and it's not been easy. The people that I open up to, because I'm a man, they start laughing at me and spreading. I need to tell people out there, and men especially, do not be afraid. Do not be scared of your status. Just move on, live your life. You will get that person who will love you, whether negative or positive, for who you are. So do not fear. There are good people outside there who don't care about anything. They'll just love you for who you are. The good thing is, kindly be honest. Be open about your status. I will not lie that I haven't had proposals from people. It's just that I'm not sure I'm ready. I've gotten the right person. So you'll find someone, they'll come, they'll be like, so I like you, I'd want to date you and stuff. And I'm like, the first thing, I'm HIV positive, and I think you should know about it. Are you willing to date someone like me? let me tell you something funny. 90% will run away.
Yeah.
It's okay. Do not feel bad about rejection. We are humans. We grasp people and we understand things different. Because some will run and come back and they'll be your friends. I have made so many friends who at first would want to date me, but because I was honest about my status and they're not okay with that, which I'm okay with it, but we are good friends and we work together. They check on me every day. And then there are those who are like still willing, or there are those like me who would want to date, but it's because I'm still working and working on myself. So I'm not like that ready. So, and also as women, I also want to tell you kindly, also be open about your status. It is hard. If you don't want to disclose to your family or anyone else, but kindly your partner, you owe your partner the truth. Be open about your status, because most of these positive cases is because we didn't have a chance to open up or to be testing. Let's not blunder. Let's not say we got carried away. HIV is real. I might be strong, somebody else is not strong. So kindly, let's test. There are these new kits, the ones that you just buy, and self-test kits at home. Go buy them, test. You're protecting yourself and the other person. Do not be carried away by beauty. Do not be carried away by how endowed someone is. Test for your own good. As much as we are strong, it's not easy to take that medication daily. There are people who fear normal medication. So you can imagine if you're told you're taking this from day one, what would you do? So to avoid such, let us who have already learned to walk through this journey walk. But if you can prevent, kindly use a condom. Kindly test. Yes.
Okay, and there's so many people I believe who'd want to reach out to you and maybe talk to you, maybe privately on inbox or whatever. How can they reach you?
They can use my email. It's metasusan@gmail.com. That is METTASUSAN@gmail.com. On Facebook, I'm Susan SUSAN. If you use the email address, it will still get to my Facebook. I'm a bit old, so I'm a Facebook person. On Instagram, not as much. So for me, the platform is Facebook. If they're not courageous enough to go through to my Facebook, they can email me. Again, I'll repeat the email address: METTASUSAN@gmail.com. Come out, let's share our stories, let's empower each other, let's work together. Do not fear. I'm not going to disclose your status. For me, it's not about money, it's not about anything, it's about making a difference in somebody's life. I want to tell people something. I had battled depression before I tested positive, and I used to drink a lot. So for me, HIV is a blessing in disguise, because I was able now to rearrange my life. I would not even have money to buy a dress because I was busy drinking. But you see, I've looked at life positively now. So what I can do now is to impact people, to do a change in somebody's life, to work with someone. Confidentiality is key. Yeah.
I'm very grateful for having a chat with Susan, and she's been very open about her HIV status, and she's really guided us on how to live with it and how to handle life, and how to take life positively. So please feel free to inbox Susan on her Facebook. On her Facebook, she's called Susan. Don't keep this thing on yourself. Just talk to her, inbox her. She'll be ready to talk to you, guide you, walk with you this journey. So I'm very happy. We've had a wonderful afternoon, and I hope to see you soon again. Thank you.